Straight.
And Rohan will answer. Muster the Rohirrim.
Welcome, everybody, to another episode of the Salty Nerd Podcast. Today, we are celebrating the 20th anniversary of Lord of the Rings, Return of the King. I'm joined, as always, by my fantastic, slightly inebriated nerds. Matt Vader's here.
Slightly.
Your eyes are glassy as fuck.
Well, that's because I was just rubbing them, because you were making me, we were doing Elvis impersonations. And now I'm all
And apparently, I'm surprisingly good at them.
Yeah.
I make Jude giggle every
You're
time.
pretty
It's
good. You
hilarious.
just need some sideburns, you'll be good to go.
I can't grow sideburns.
So I tried to watch the 7.5 hour long version.
4 hours,
of this
23
week's,
minutes.
And it's a good thing that I've seen this movie like 50 times because I didn't make it.
Did you make it all the way through?
I didn't get to the hour long ending.
Oh, when they were like, okay, let's
We're
let's
gonna do this.
wrap everything up. We're gonna go to Rivendell, and we're gonna go do this. And we're gonna go back to the Shire, and then back to Rivendell. And yeah, I get it.
But no, I love this movie. I love these movies. I'm freaking out that it was 20 years.
20
years
I
ago.
saw this shit in theaters.
It's like I remember it like yesterday. It was an event. These movies are iconic.
Yeah.
We say this every year now. This is the third one of these we've done.
I don't even feel like this should be a review because we all know what the score is going to be.
We're all just going to like gush over
yeah,
this.
it's like gush
We gotta
fest.
talk about it though.
Gotta talk about
You
it.
know, these movies deserve to be discussed, especially now 20 years later, and they still look like they were made yesterday.
Still hold up,
They
dude.
still hold up
What
amazingly.
movie
The
can you
Ghost
say?
Army looks a little dated.
They really do.
Maybe.
But
my God,
other
they
than
kinda
that,
do.
Fair.
still
Fair.
holds up, looks great.
I still think the Ghost
Legolas-
Army was cheating. That was fucking God mode. That was cheating.
It was God mode, and Legolas on the Oliphant
God mode.
was a little bit much.
But it's the finale.
Yeah,
You know,
super
you gotta.
much.
I only count as one, right? I mean, come on, dude. Like,
I still only count as one.
that's an iconic line.
Yeah.
Also, me and Matt are here.
Oh yeah. Sorry, I forgot about you guys.
No,
Matt
all right.
is our silent producer today. He's feeling a little under the weather, so
Yeah.
he's gonna
My sicky poo.
He's a trooper.
quietly sit there and just hold back rage at us not talking about the right things. Like right now. All right. So yeah, Lord of the Rings, 20 years later, does it hold up? Is it fun? Of course. Yes. The answer is yes to all those things.
I watched all 3 movies in one
You
day.
are a trooper.
Psychopath.
And I've been listening to the
Oh my
audiobook.
God.
God, that's a lot of Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
Dude, I recorded an interview with J.R.R. Tolkien. And he said some metal shit.
Oh, well, yeah.
And I was like, this could be a rock song.
Give me an example.
Stories, practically always, a human story is practically always about one thing, aren't they? Death. The inevitability of death.
It gave me the chills. I was like, God damn.
And I'm hard as a rock right now.
I'm like, what the fuck, dude? Yeah, J.R.R. Tolkien is a fucking hard motherfucker. And I was listening to that interview and I was like, dude, this guy's fucking like gothic. Like it was like he could be dressed in a black suit with fucking eye makeup and it would have been like, yeah, that makes sense.
Dude, the guy created a universe.
Yeah. And language.
And a language, yeah.
Mythology. You know, he created a mythos around a story that he wrote. I mean, it's crazy.
And I know these movies were like filmed in New Zealand for the landscapes and stuff like that. But when I went to Scotland and I saw the real life, you know, surroundings, and I'm like, oh, this is freaking Middle Earth, man.
Mm-hmm.
Like you immediately see where all these ideas come from. Like, oh yeah, the enchanted forest with all the moss and the crazy trees that are like 5,000 years old, and it's just
I fucking love the Ents.
the Ents are so cool. I got annoyed with them. I think I talked about this in our Two Towers. Twin Towers? That's
Two Towers.
That's dark. What year did that come out? 2003 or 4?
2022.
2002.
Two Towers. This is the 20th anniversary of in
Return of the
2023.
Yeah.
They were all a year apart.
Oh, okay.
Can you imagine filming these movies? It's like they released these movies and they were all like, what were they? 2.5 hours long or something like that?
Yeah,
and then they put together the 3-hour versions.
Yeah.
And now we're watching the 4-hour versions on Netflix. And my understanding is that there's enough coverage that we still haven't seen
Probably.
that they could do 10-hour-long episode seasons of each one of these movies.
Look, the people
like for Netflix or something for like a 25th anniversary or something like
like
that.
the people involved in these movies, from the crew to Peter Jackson to the actors and all that stuff. Like, I feel like at a certain point, this just became like a passion project for all of them.
Yeah.
And they were like, we need to work 14-hour days. Let's go.
Well,
Let's do
I
it.
mean, all the actors moved to New
Yeah,
Zealand
they
for the
left,
duration of their shoot time.
They were
It
there
was
for,
like for 3 years.
Yeah, it was a long time.
Yeah.
They filmed all 3 movies and they
Yeah.
lived there for 3 years. And they just like made movies.
It's like, hey, we're going to film this movie, Alex. I'm going to cast you as one of the main characters. I need you to move completely to the other side of the world for 3.5 years.
Okay. How much you paying me?
You going to come?
Hundreds of thousands of dollars?
Okay.
And
Yeah. I can
so
make
when
that work.
we get into the synopsis and the budget stuff, so
Yeah.
correct me if I'm wrong, but it was budgeted for all 3 movies at the same time.
I believe so.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think we had
so.
that discussion before.
Yeah.
But yeah. I think they're all, the budget was for all 3. I don't know if they went over budget or not, but so you can divide that number by 3 and that gives you the basic budget for the movies, each one. But I feel like Return of the King, I think they save a little bit of their pennies to go all out with this one, because this one's much more grander on scale than the other 2.
Again, what is tripping me out about these movies is that regardless of the budget, I mean, the budget also is, I feel like we haven't seen half the coverage, the stuff that they shot. I mean, they keep on coming out with these longer and longer and longer.
There's a
versions.
5.5-hour version.
It's
like,
wild.
what?
It's absolutely wild. There's got to be so much stuff on the cutting room floor, just in archives and in reels that we've never seen.
Yeah, I'm sure.
In the vault somewhere. That, I mean, I read the books. I've told you guys all the story about how I forced myself to read the books before each movie came out. That they filmed stuff that we've never seen, and I can't imagine what they shot, because I feel like, aside from like the Tom Bombadil stuff, I feel like they got most of the stuff in the movies. So what is in that vault? You know what I'm saying?
It's like
crazy.
probably the similar. What's that? How do you say that word? Similarian.
So yeah, I don't know.
Similar-
The stuff
I
that
can't-
Amazon's doing a poor job of making.
Yeah,
right now.
yeah.
So I don't
think
know.
there's extra stuff in there, and there's other like appendix, like chapters about hobbits that are just like
Crazy.
real narrowed down. Like, this is how a hobbit barbecues a pig, and it's like, here you
Yeah.
go, and he maps it all out. Like, I'm sure they filmed something crazy.
Did they film the Scourging of the Shire?
No, well, not that I've never seen it.
I actually think they did, but it didn't make the movie.
Okay, so question: in the books, the entire journey takes years, right? Like decades, right?
Decades? I don't know.
I don't know about decades, but a really long time. Yeah,
Years at least. So at the end of Return of the Kings, it says, "And 13 months later, we returned to the Shire."
That sounds about right. I think that's about right.
so it took them a
Yeah.
year.
Yeah,
But
a year.
getting there,
I feel like in the books it takes several years.
maybe.
I didn't feel like it might have taken a year and a half, but I never got the impression while reading the books that it was like a decade or anything like that.
Huh,
Because,
okay.
because they leave, they go back to the shower and or the Shire.
Yeah, there you go.
And he marries the bar wench
Sam,
and they have kids.
Sam
and
marries.
so
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know.
It always trips me out.
I think year and a half is probably
They
around.
left boys and returned.
Yeah,
home.
well, exactly.
Yeah. I mean, we talked about this when we did our previous video on the first movie. But it always trips me out that like Gandalf, when he leaves to go research the ring, he's gone for like fucking 30 years or something crazy.
Yeah.
And then he comes back and he's like, it is the one ring.
Yeah.
And that's when the adventure starts. In the book, it's like a long freaking time. Like Frodo
Yeah.
ages to like a full grown, he's like in his 60s or something like that. And then they go on the adventure. And it's just, timelines are weird, but of course for the
Yeah.
movies, they have to make
So,
a little bit more digestible.
Chat says the gap between when Gandalf left the Shire, which was when Bilbo had his birthday, right?
Mhm. Yep.
And when he returns,
It was like 10 years.
or when they go to Rivendell, it was like 10 years.
I thought it was more than that, but maybe. I
But
don't
that
know.
makes sense. But from
Okay.
the time Frodo leaves
And gets to Mordor.
and goes to Mordor and comes back, I think that's like 12, 13 months.
You got to say it. Mordor.
Whatever.
The evil that now spreads from Mordor.
Fucking say it.
He's
Mor-
had
Mordor.
Put some respect on
I've
that
he's
name.
had this much whiskey
I've
today.
had 3 shots.
So
But the Shady Mile goes a long way.
the shady mile loosens my lips.
mhm.
So,
Yeah.
but anyway, yeah,
honestly,
I
their
think
vodka get their vodka. Ambush Canyon vodka at caskers.com.
Not a sponsor.
It goes down so
It really
easy.
does.
Not a sponsor.
Not a sponsor.
Anyway.
But yeah, I think once they leave the Shire to go towards, Weathertop and stuff,
Mhm.
I think 13 months is probably about right.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
But
But there's a longer time span that's involved with the movies.
The salted pork is particularly good.
So there's something I did not like about this movie,
ooh,
Huh.
talk to me.
and I've never liked about this
Okay.
movie. I've never liked Merry and Pippin.
Oh my God,
In
I
these
love Mary
movies.
and
They
Pippin.
annoy the shit out of me.
Well, they're supposed to.
Yeah.
It's their
I know.
job.
They're children.
like-
I mean, they
Yeah.
start off in this journey. They're like 14-year-olds.
It's like, especially which is the one that hangs out with
Fool of a
Eowyn?
took. It's my favorite line.
Which is the one that hangs out with Eowyn, hangs out with the Rohan
That's
guys?
Miri.
Mary? Mary.
Is that Mary?
Yeah, Mary is the blonde, curly-haired one.
The taller one.
Taller one, yes.
So
And Pippin is the shorter
I
one.
Pippin is a fool of a took.
I
Yeah.
feel like they got reduced to side characters.
They were always side
I know they
characters.
were always side characters, but I feel like there's a reason that they're more prominent in the expanded editions
Mm.
than the theatrical release, because the stuff that involves them is really kind of unnecessary and just filler.
Okay.
Does that make sense? It's like, oh,
I mean, they fuck
I
around
wanna-
and they fuck shit up and they make things
I want to
happen.
fight with you, and we're gonna go
Well-
with the lady and
well-
stuff. And the only thing, the Pippin's is it.
Pippin
who's-
drives
Who's the one that hangs out with Gandalf the most?
Pippin.
So
Pippin.
the stuff where he like lights the signal fire,
Yeah, yeah.
and he's like becomes a steward.
He's
like
integral to the
him
whole
more,
story.
but the other one, I feel like
Mary.
is just more.
Well, they had to do something
Just-
with him.
It's just
That
I
he
feel
went
like
with
it's
the
just,
army.
It's fluff.
I
It's just fluff to me.
disagree. Because, I mean, if you follow the characters from the first movie, you're into what happens to them.
I feel like
And they're part of the this grand story. And that's
Mhm.
kind of the point, is that this huge,
yeah.
other earthly story.
I've just
And these little half people, the
Yeah.
little hobbits are along for the ride. They're not going to do much.
But that's it. I feel like he's just along for the ride.
Yeah, that's kind of the whole point.
But
I feel like there's Sam and Frodo are integral to the story.
He's a ring
Sure.
bearer.
Okay, but the other two are like, we need to like find some things for them to do.
But they have an arc too, because
Yeah.
they're never
Mm.
separated. And then once they go their separate paths, they each have their own journey.
Yeah.
We'll see each other soon. Won't we?
And they're better
Yes.
when they're not together.
Yes.
Because they goof off when they're together.
Yes.
We see them in this movie. The first time we see them, they're smoking weed in Isengard.
oh yeah,
And,
sure.
and they're hanging out trying to look
Yeah,
for
yeah.
some good gum, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And Gandalf
hey man,
shows up.
are there any gummies in that store?
They fuck up the fireworks.
Yeah, they touch the stupid orb,
Yeah.
Ooh.
which sets off the whole plot of this movie. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, fucking goddamn it, we got to go to the...
Yeah. Well, that was really Pippin.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
100%.
Mary was
I
like,
just-
put it back.
Stop touching shit.
maybe I'm like in the wrong camp here, but I feel like the tighter theatrical releases are a little more
Well, that's
put together than
wider
than
the theatrical.
the 4 hour
Yeah.
long.
The 4 hour one
fluffy
is for
version that we've all
hardcore
watched.
nerds.
that's on Netflix right
Yeah.
now. It's pretty wild. I mean,
4 hours, 23 minutes.
4.5 hours.
I watched
it
the,
all.
for
the
third
Max
part
version.
of a 3-part movie. It's
HBO
like,
Max.
Well, they have
Jesus.
both on HBO.
Oh, okay.
I watched the extended version.
I couldn't
Okay.
finish it. I didn't have enough time in my life.
It's 4.5 hours,
It's
bro.
crazy.
I watched all of them.
I have plenty of time. Yeah.
I was texting Tom while I was watching them, and I finished it at like 11 something, and I texted him at 11:11. I was like, end scene, and he was like, oh my god, that was an all day affair. And I was like, yeah. I really wanted to.
Yeah.
I really wanted to have a Hobbit day, and I told him the next day. I was like, you know what we should do next year is we should watch all of them in one day, but incorporate all of the Hobbits' meals.
Ooh. Oh,
Throughout
have you
the
seen
watching.
that?
Can
Have
we-
you seen that on Instagram?
Can
Yeah.
we do 3rd, 4th, and 5th breakfast?
That's what it's talking
Yeah,
about.
and
Yeah.
Elevensies.
Yeah, Levensies, afternoon tea,
Uh-huh.
and then the dinner,
don't
and then
get me
supper.
wrong. I think hobbits are the best.
Hobbits are awesome.
Yeah.
Their lifestyle is perfection.
There's a recipe book that has all of the foods that are incorporated into each of those meals and what you should serve.
Yeah. I like Merry and Pippin's stories in this one. I understand what you're saying. They are side quests. They are side
Yeah.
characters, but that's okay. because they give you an internal look at what's happening in the grand scheme of things. On like, okay, so what's the battle of the Rohan people? What is that? What's going on over there? Well, Pippin's our guy. And then what's going on with Gandalf and Gondor? Well, Merry's our guy.
I get
or
it.
maybe I got them flipped. I mean,
so here's the thing with this whole movie. When I was watching this movie this week, you guys are gonna like crucify me. I always fast forward through the Frodo and Sam stuff.
Which Frodo and Sam stuff?
The
with Smeagol?
With we're like going
With
through
the spider?
With the spider.
Oh, how do you
It's like the
spider?
The spider's gross.
I was looking forward to the spider the whole
gross.
time.
She's always hungry.
It's like I watch this movie and I get through the part where the army leaves the Agmar, the Witch King's castle.
Yeah.
And I go, that's pretty dope.
That's a fucking dope scene.
It's a dope scene.
Dope scene. I love
where
where
the Witch King comes up,
and then his army marches out.
But you know, there's something about and this is I feel this way through especially the third movie. But Elijah Wood, I feel like really overacts the anguish of Frodo. You know what I'm saying? It's like there's something about the way the Sam and Frodo relationship kind of weirds me out a little bit. And I feel like Elijah Wood really quit looking at me like that. Overacts a little bit. I don't know. There's just
how else would you portray?
I have no idea.
The literal devil hanging around your neck.
I get it.
And you're trekking across the world, and everything is going up against you.
Listen, I love these movies. I have to find some things to not like, and I don't like Elijah Wood's performance in the third movie.
Okay, you think it's over the top?
I think he's too sappy. I feel like he's too.
I mean, he's half dead.
I know.
You know, listen, I'm of the opinion Frodo ain't the hero in this movie.
I just
Samwise Gamgee is the fucking hero.
What about you? Oh no, I'm not hungry. I heard it from his own mouth. He makes the murderer. That's for Frodo. The Shire. I carry it for you, but I can't carry you.
Oh, Sam is definitely the hero.
If Sam wasn't there, Frodo would have died.
I feel like
miles ago. You know what I mean?
Frodo's just like, just let me die.
Super melodramatic. He's just depressed as fuck.
If he had to walk anywhere, if he had to walk from here to his house, he'd be like, "Why don't you guys just fucking kill me?"
I'm not gonna lie, it's just true. Just put a bullet in me.
Yeah,
come on. Yeah, it's 110 outside.
Oh, but Frodo's an asshole.
Frodo's an overactor.
a drama queen.
I didn't say that. I just say he's an asshole.
He's only mostly dead.
He's so mopey.
There's just something about
the
Frodo and Sam story arc.
I think that
I really don't. I find it. Maybe I get bored when I'm watching a movie, and I end up fast forwarding through the Frodo and Sam stuff. I don't know why.
That's wild.
Honestly,
I can't explain it.
If I was,
I'd much rather watch orcs get slammed by catapults, than Frodo and Sam walking.
So that's the joke, right?
I guess.
What were you gonna say, Jude?
If I was trekking on foot in the heat of Mordor.
The evil that now spreads from Mordor.
With this fucking jewelry around my neck, I'd be like, I got a rash on my neck. This fucking chain is killing me.
They did.
Yeah.
They did. I mean, they show the weight of this thing.
Yeah.
It's just a gold.
I'd be mopey too.
Look, I think the problem, the only problem I have with these movies is that if I was Frodo, I would
be less of a bitch.
No, I would be. I would like turn invisible, and I would go.
You'd get caught.
I would go. Make me a fucking ring wraith.
Oh my god!
Let's go.
Honestly, the ring wraiths are dope.
They are dope.
They're pretty cool.
The one they say no living man can kill.
I would just be a ring wraith.
But you wouldn't be. You'd be a fucking devil hobbit. You'd be Gollum.
Whatever.
Gollum is not.
I started doing that in case you're like, I thought you were choking.
Gollum.
I mean,
is this
you
the
guys
one?
know me? I have a dark side. I like evil shit.
Yeah,
I'm
you would 100% be on Mordor.
I'm a lord of chaos. I would be a servant of Sauron.
Is the mouth of Sauron? Is that only in the extended version, or is that in the theatrical version? Did you see that?
That was not.
So that okay. So I saw that shit, and that still creeps me out.
Yeah, I didn't.
And
get
it gives me hardcore Guillermo del Toro vibes.
Oh yeah.
And I'm almost wondering if he like if Peter Jackson was like, hey, Guillermo, you want to come over here and film a scene and design this character?
Sure.
And he's like, the Mouth of Sauron? Fuck yeah.
To return. Old Greybeard.
And I feel like it's got his fingerprint all over it.
Yeah. I didn't get that far.
But you'd be into that.
But I've seen it. I've watched it many times.
Yeah, he chops his head off.
You know that Peter Jackson started off as a horror director.
I do know that. I do know that. But
he didn't need Del Toro's help.
I'm just saying visually, the creation of that creature, the Mouths of Sauron, it looks like it belongs in Guillermo del Toro's movie.
We're gonna
We're
gonna watch The Frighteners sometime in 2024.
I just watched that the other day.
Yeah, it's a good movie, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good.
I've never seen it.
But
yeah, I don't know. There's just Frodo is annoying. I'm just gonna say I find Frodo annoying.
He is annoying in this movie because we're all being like, dude,
he's fucking
get up.
Let's go,
like,
you motherfucker. Let's go. Get
there's
up.
two things that
Throw
annoy.
the fucking ring in the lava and let's go.
Yeah.
You know, let's go.
There's two things about this movie that would make Frodo super annoying. One, okay, we're all rooting for this guy to win, and he's dragging ass. He's just like, ugh. And we all know that Sam is right about Gollum.
Oh, yeah.
Because we see what Gollum's planning, and Frodo's like, no, be nice to him. And we're like, dude.
Sam the gardener is the true hero.
Your best
of the story.
man, your dude, your right-hand guy is telling you, hey.
You're Sam.
Yeah, like, bro, this guy, don't trust this guy. And you're like, no, man, I'm going to trust him over you. Like, we're annoyed with Frodo on purpose. I think it's part of the movie. It's part of the struggle.
Yeah.
But Sam, without Sam, this whole journey falls apart. Sam is the guy. He is the hero of the movie. I would almost say he is more integral
Gollum would have had that ring in the beginning of the
30 seconds.
second movie.
Yeah.
If Sam wasn't around.
Yeah.
100%.
100%.
Taters. Sam's cooking fish and taters.
Yeah. Likes it raw.
It's raw and wriggly.
I mean, can we just say it?
What?
Frodo's kind of a bitch. Okay,
I'm not gonna say it.
I'm not going to say it. That's sacrilegious.
He's kind of a weak bitch.
So here's my question. Let me pose this question as a nerd, from one nerd to a group of nerds. If Frodo had died by whatever, and Sam took the ring, would Sam finish the mission?
No.
Yes.
No, he's a weak bitch. He's normal.
Fucking movie.
They covered this in the cartoon. There's a whole scene in the cartoon.
In the 70s cartoon of
in
The Hobbit?
in the Rankin Bass cartoon where Sam has a there's a whole musical number where they show him taking the ring.
Yeah.
And like he feels like he's going to do good, but the ring takes him over and he does bad stuff. It's just the ring takes everybody over. It doesn't matter.
Why not Frodo though? I mean, Frodo went dark. He got a little.
Frodo lost.
He got a little.
The only reason the ring got in the lava is because Gollum bit it off his finger.
It's true. Frodo didn't want to do it.
Frodo didn't throw the ring in the lava.
Yeah.
Gollum bit the ring off, got the ring back,
and then fell.
Gollum won.
Yeah.
But then he fell. And he went in lava,
So
and the game's
Gollum's
over.
the true hero.
Gollum's the true hero. Yes.
Gollum's winning.
Gollum won. He got the ring back.
Oh, but did you see it his face when he's falling into the lava? And he's like,
he's so happy. It's his precious.
It's his precious. He got his precious back, and then he dies.
Yeah.
There is that scene in here where Sam is trying to give the ring back to Frodo,
Mm-hmm.
and he hesitates, and you can see that the ring does have power, but for whatever reason, Frodo just has he's so purely good that it takes a long time for the ring to wear him down.
I don't think there's any person in Middle Earth that can overcome the power of the ring.
That's kind of the point.
In the end.
Long enough. No. Well, okay. Tom Bombadil's an interesting case. We'll talk about that. We'll go down that side road a little bit.
I understand why they cut him out of the movies.
I mean,
he's overpowered.
Yeah,
Listen, Galadriel can't even.
No, she can't
have
the
ring.
Well, even when they were like, why doesn't Gandalf just take it?
But there's a tempest inside her.
But there's nobody in the.
Is that a Lord of the
That's a
Rings of Power joke.
reference.
Fuck you! How dare you?
There's nobody.
How dare you bring that movie?
I mean, I think, is there even a scene where Elrond says that the ring is?
Maybe. I remember. I can't remember which movie it's in, but I do remember a scene where they're like, "Why doesn't Gandalf just take it?" And he's like, "Gandalf would take it."
Gandalf doesn't even take that shit.
Yeah, Gandalf won't even pick it up.
He's like, Gandalf would take it thinking he would do good, but then he would become self-righteous. I think it's I think it's Tolkien. I think it's another interview with Tolkien where he's talking about why Gandalf can't take the ring.
Yeah.
And he's like, he would take it thinking he's going to be a righteous man, and he would turn self-righteous, and then he would turn into a tyrant because nobody else can hold up to his standard. I mean, and it was like, wow, that's fucking so Tolkien.
Power corrupts.
Yeah. And absolute power corrupts, absolutely.
Power corrupts. And even in the real world.
Yeah. I think that's the message of the whole point.
That's why we have term limits.
Well, see how well that's working out. Fucking 85-year-old man. I'm going to be president. Shut the fuck up. Sorry.
Settle down, boys.
Settle down. Simmer down now. But but you know, it's a very
very accurate.
It's a very cool analogy.
It's a timeless human nature lesson, I guess, or whatever you want to call it. But yeah, I think Sam's the hero, man. I root for him more than I root for Frodo.
Sam is the everyman.
At this point in this story, I feel like Frodo is just being dragged onto the.
Sam just wants to protect his
friend, his best
friend, and he wants to go home and get it on with the big-titted bar wench.
Fuck yeah,
and
dude.
have some babies, and tend his flowers. Let's go,
man.
I understand,
but he can't do that if they lose because then the Shire won't be there anymore.
Yeah,
yeah.
So why couldn't the Eagles just fly Frodo to Mount Doom?
Shut up, heretic.
Damn it, shit. Come on,
Kadish. It's Shady Mile, guys. Go to casters.com if you don't want to talk straight.
Can we start over?
Said.
God damn it, Kadish. The Eagles are like the answer to everything, right? Well, why couldn't the Eagle just like pick up Frodo and like dump him in the lava?
Fly, you fools. Listen, there is a legitimate answer to this question. It's a cop-out. I'll say that going in. It is a cop-out.
Goddamn Eagles.
You talk to the hardcore Lord of the Rings nerds. They're like, how dare you even suggest that? Those Eagles are not for your fucking taxi service, sir.
That's true.
You have a mission, you go on a mission. It's not their concern of the humans and their elves.
The Ents didn't want to get involved either.
Well, the Ents, they did once.
But come on, though. He's correct.
100%.
Why couldn't like Gandalf just go, hey, Eagle Uber service, we need a flight to Mount Doom?
Well, do you think? Here's the thing, though. Let's thought process this out. If they did do that, if Gandalf
he sent a moth to rescue him from Isengard when he was in trouble.
You guys do me a favor. I fucked up a little bit. I'm like, yeah, sure.
Yeah, he says the Eagles only work when they're convenient.
They get used in a worse way in the Hobbit movies because they do. It is very much a plot convenience in those movies. It's like, oh, we're stuck and we're cornered by orcs.
Eagles.
They come and take them. It did happen in the book, though. So, whatever.
Well, I just always assumed that when they started off on the journey, they had to stay under the radar.
Yeah.
And if you send eagles
Giant
to Mount
eagles,
Doom,
they're gonna be prepared for it by then.
Yeah.
That's kind of my idea.
What would happen? Would the eagles like fly in and the eyeball like shoot like laser beams?
Yeah.
No. They
shoot
probably.
Them out of the sky?
Well, they've got the ring wraiths.
Yeah.
So they can fly.
That'd be cool.
The Eagles literally destroyed the ring race at the end of this movie.
But it was a surprise attack.
It wasn't even
a surprise attack, though.
It wasn't even a fight.
Yeah, I know. It's a hard question to answer. I'm just trying to defend the movie. I'm like, yeah, it would be.
Tolkien was a hack. It's a hack.
No more whiskey for you, my friend.
There's the beginning of the podcast right there. That's the clip we're gonna put in the beginning. Tolkien's a hack. Fine.
He's a hack. Those Eagles, they could have fixed everything in 30 seconds. They could have flown to the Shire, got the ring, and like dropped the thing in the lava, and it would have been all fine. Would have taken 2 days. They flap in there, get the ring. It's like, hey, Eagles, can you like take this ring and drop it in the lava?
They would have had to take out.
They would have went, okay, fine.
They would have had to. What was that noise you just? You would have to take out Saruman, okay? Because
why?
Because think about it.
They don't have to take him out. They just go kill the ring. You kill the ring, and the movie's over.
No. I mean, before you even get to the ring, because Saruman would have some kind of a magic spell going on with the weather.
Bilbo should have called the Eagles decades ago.
Dude, remember when they were walking on the mountain ridge and the snow was coming down and this unnatural storm was there? That's all Saruman. He created that storm. You think if some Eagles were flying towards Mordor and Sauron was like, hey, bro. Mordor.
The evil that now spreads from Mordor.
You have to say it with the Mordor.
Mordor.
It's a language that does not speak.
Mordor.
How dare you say that? We said it too many times. The fucking world's going to end.
Mordor.
Oh, shit. As he opens up more. What was I saying?
Here we go.
This is the path to Mordor.
No shit. There's going to be a dark hole here pretty soon. Yeah, because he would have freaking lightning them out of the sky if he knew that they were doing
ruined
that.
this movie for me.
Because of the Eagles?
The Eagles were the answer.
That was him. I didn't
The
know
Eagle.
that.
Thank you, Kadish. The Eagles were the answer from the very beginning.
Did you not know this? I mean,
This is like that episode of where they ruined that episode of Big Bang Theory where fucking they ruined Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
The Eagles. Oh God, the Eagles could have fixed everything from the very beginning.
Nerdy Neo in the chat says, be like, hi, Eagles. Sauron is going to take over and destroy the world, but we can stop him. Mind if you help? Mind if you help us? You're like, yeah.
And the Eagles are like, nah, man, fuck you.
Yeah, fuck you.
Go fuck yourself.
Humans.
Stupid.
Dirty. I don't want
stupid
ride on my back.
This
Stupid
is a battle of men.
Dumb ground dwellers.
We do not get involved in battles of men.
Right?
Those Eagles were selfish as shit.
Yeah, they were.
They were selfish as hell.
But they also
Why
didn't
didn't the
want
Eagles
to
just save the world?
Because they would 100% have been killed. 100%.
Honestly, you didn't even need Frodo. You could have just strapped it to the eagle and been like, drop this off.
Hey,
fly
man,
over.
Is that how that works?
Just do a
could've just
flyover.
they should just, hey, Pippin, come here. Here's a ring. And then he gives him the ring. And then the eagle comes out, grabs him and like takes him to the Mount Doom and dumps him in the lava.
Dumps Pippin in the lava?
Whoa.
Pippin in the lava. Because he's kind of useless. He's a useless character.
How does
He's
that
a
work?
fool of a two.
He's a fool of a
He's a
two.
fool of a toque.
He fucks up. In every movie, he fucks up at least once.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
hilarious.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. That's
I
funny.
think-
It's really weird to like
Poke a
talk
hole in
about
it.
poke a hole in this movie because these movies are so well. They're revered.
Right.
I love these movies.
When-
It's just strange.
The
It's
part
just
in
a
this
strange
movie
thing.
that people online love to point out is when Eowyn, is that her name?
Yeah.
Eowyn, when she kills the ring wraith.
Yeah.
I am no man.
no man.
It's in the book.
Eowyn.
Eowyn, yeah. So like everyone always says like, oh, if this movie were released today, you'd have like armies of trolls online like talking about how woke it is, and it's like
Yeah.
it's like they set that up. It's like no man can kill the ring wraith, and then it's a hobbit and a woman.
Whoa, man.
We never even thought about a woman doing it.
They also set up that she's like legit. She's a fucking daughter of Rohan.
Oh, well,
Like,
Yeah.
she also like in the last movie they talk about like how she learned how to wield a sword
Yeah,
and
yeah.
stuff like that.
Mhm.
There's a whole penis section of the movie.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Where Aragorn is like, hey,
Honestly,
that's
she's
a
one
nice
of my
dick you got
favorite
there. She's like,
characters.
watch me, you wield this dick, right?
And there's such a great moment where she takes her helmet off and she's just like,
Oh, yeah.
I am no man.
I love that scene where Judge Dredd, what's his name?
Carl
Bones.
Urban.
Carl Urban.
Yeah.
Just like tells her, woman, know your role. Basically says, know your role and shut your mouth. And go, sharpen my sword.
And then she fucks off, puts some armor on, and gets on the sword. She's like, we're
Yeah.
going to go fight. Fuck that
Let's
asshole.
go.
Yeah.
I'm going to
Well,
get...
That's why
it's
she's
pretty
one of my
crazy.
favorite characters too, is because she's a woman of Rohan. She's a daughter of Rohan. But she has all of the same training as all of these men around her, but she's expected to be a woman in this role. And when she says, I'm paraphrasing, I don't want to wait until old age and
Right.
just like the fight goes out of me before I have to accept this role that you've given me. I'm going out there and I'm going to fight.
But you know what's great about that scene is like when she's facing down the King Ringwraith, she's legitimately scared.
Oh, yeah. It's an
Like-
intense scene.
yeah, she's facing
She's
down.
prepared to die.
She's not like the best swordsman ever, but she's
Yeah.
like she's got courage.
Mhm.
And if it wasn't for Mary, stabbing the guy in the back, she wouldn't have had the opportunity to actually like strike the killing blow.
100%. Yeah.
So like it wasn't.
There's no Mary Sue status here.
Exactly.
No, not at all.
No, not
Every
at all.
time Theoden says, I know your face, I tear up.
Dude. Yeah.
It's like I appreciate Eowyn in this movie. I really like her character a lot because it's like you said, there's no Mary Sue going on here. She states the women can fight just like the men. Their role is to support.
Yeah.
It's like they go to battle to support their men, but they don't fight. It's just
that's old school.
Yeah, it's a kind of a Viking type thing, I guess. But I don't know what. I like her character.
Yeah.
I do. And I feel like there's no Mary Sue-ness going on.
Absolutely not.
They definitely established that she can fight when she needs to. And I think she was kind of
she's a very full cool character.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
100%.
like if Benioff and Weiss had been writing this, she would have been the one to throw the ring in the Mount Doom.
She robs Jon Snow. That part, it's set up, it's paid off, it's perfect. And it's not the big boss, it's the Witch King, which is fucking Gandalf went up against him and almost lost.
That's the big boss.
Sauron.
He's number two behind Sauron.
Yeah, number two. Yeah, he's the number two guy, and she comes in, she fucking wins the day.
Who does number two work for?
But even if like she still does that, if Aragorn, I'm a little jazzed right now.
It's okay. This is a movie to be jazzed about.
I know, but
this
I'm like,
is a great movie.
I'm not saying the names properly, and I know I'm going to get shade for that in the comments.
Okay. Shady mind.
Okay.
This review brought to you by.
Pretty much.
They're going to love this.
Yeah. Just email them a link to this episode. Just be like, here you go, guys. This is for you. We're down to like 4 bottles, so if you want to send more, go for it.
We need a shipment.
Vader's even wearing his T-shirt today.
He is too, yeah.
I can use a hat.
Yeah.
Not a sponsor.
Trying to explain to people that they're not a sponsor is hilarious. Anyway, even if she does do that and she wins the day against the Witch King, if Aragorn doesn't come in with the army of the dead, it's still not
all for naught.
It's all for nothing.
Yeah.
It's still not a win.
Yeah.
You know, it's a combination of everything that happens. It's the perfect storm that they take down everybody because everybody has a piece of the puzzle to win. So I don't buy into that argument like, oh, if this came out today, people would be bitching about it. Like, no, because they did the proper setup. They do the proper storytelling to where it makes sense. It's acceptable. And we're all rooting for her anyway. So, let's go.
Well, there's also this thing in good writing where basically you keep the tension high, where it's like, the good guys at the end of the day are going to win. But like when you keep putting obstacles in front of them, you're like, how are they going to win? How are they going to overcome these incredible odds?
Well, you go to the mountain cave and you get God mode status with the undead army. That's how you win.
But it wasn't just that, though. It's like through every step of the journey of the Lord of the Rings, they keep coming up against bigger and bigger obstacles, and you keep being like, how are they going to persevere and how are they going to win? And that's good writing because it's like you always know that in these types of stories, the good guys are going to win. But when you keep making it so hard for them to win, where the audience is like, how are they going to do it? That's what keeps people invested. Like, you got on my case about referencing the Rings of Power. It's like the people who wrote the Rings of Power don't understand that concept that,
100%.
that Tolkien totally understood and Peter Jackson understands.
Yeah, totally agree. I will say, I appreciate the fact that you're bringing your knowledge and expertise into this, even though you don't feel good.
It's nice to hear you speak today.
Yeah, it's good. It's weird. I didn't think I'd miss it. Okay, just throwing facts down.
Gotta get us straight.
You don't know what you got till it's gone.
I know, right?
But the more I think about it, I mean, all of these things could have been fixed if who's Aragorn? Who's these
Vigo?
Vigo, yeah,
Aragorn.
If he had just like in the first movie, like embraced his calling and went,
he does in the books,
and went and become king in the first movie, none of this would have happened.
He knows full well he's supposed to be king in the books, and he's like thirsty for it. He's like, I want to be king of Gondor. Like that is my job to do that. And he the whole time in the books, he's like, I'm gonna go be king. I'm going to go be king. And he's got the sword. He knows all about it.
You know I'm king, right?
Yeah. I'm totally king. I'm totally going to be king
wink,
as soon as I get there.
King.
Yeah.
Okay.
In the movies, I get what they're doing because they need a story arc for him. So it was like the reluctant hero. Like, I don't want this. But the person who doesn't want the job is always the one that you want to have the job. Because then they're less likely to abuse it.
Can I ask a dumb question?
That's what we do here.
While we're just like talking about these movies, overall in this entire trilogy, who's your favorite character? I want all three of you guys to answer this movie.
In all 3 movies? In the whole trilogy?
In the Lord of the Rings trilogy. Who's your favorite character?
Gandalf. I have to. I know it's like a cheesy, like, of course it's Gandalf. It's fucking Gandalf. Come on, bro. He's the shit.
Mine too.
Yeah.
Who about you, Jude?
I think I need a minute.
Yeah.
Kadish, you got it.
Sauron.
The bad guy. Sauron.
He's one of the greatest villains.
He really is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not like Gollum or,
I do love Gollum.
I mean, I love all of them, but if you're talking favorites, like
Yeah, I mean, just like
Gandalf is the shit.
we're
He's the
done.
guy.
Éomer is so hot.
We never have to talk about these movies again. So I just want to know who your favorite character is over the overall thing.
We'll talk about it again in 5 years.
Like for the
25th anniversary.
50th anniversary. God, if we're doing this in our 50th, I'm going to be like 90 okay, so
Yeah.
70. No, I'll be 73 in the.
Yeah, Gandalf's my favorite character. As far as like actors in these movies, I cannot get enough of Christopher Lee, dude.
Yeah.
I didn't realize how much of a Christopher Lee fan I was.
Is metal, dude.
Dude,
he was the only member of the cast who actually knew Tolkien.
Yeah.
Like he met him in person.
Yeah, having him in this cast, I remember there was an interview with him before he passed away where he was like, "Yeah, I wanted to be Gandalf, but they gave me."
He was cast perfectly.
Yeah, I think it was perfect. He's too dark to be Gandalf.
I feel like all the castings in this movie
pitch perfect
were spot on.
Yeah.
I can't. I've never complained about the people who played the roles in this in these for any of the characters in this movie. You have a favorite?
Elijah
Jude?
Wood's overacting apparently.
I mean, it's just in the third movie. I feel like, but I probably would have thought that way about anybody who played that role because he's just mopey and whiny.
We haven't talked about the beginning of this movie where Andy Serkis actually shows up for the first time in.
Oh yeah, Gollum is next level in this thing.
Well, that's Smeagol.
Yeah,
we get in the beginning.
Yeah,
it's my birthday.
Yeah, there's that scene where like Sam comes up to him close to the beginning of this movie and just sets him straight. It's like, listen, motherfucker, I'm watching you. I know you're a piece of shit, and I'm going to kill you if you fuck up. But basically, Sam's being a complete prick to this guy, right?
To who?
To Gollum.
Well, I'm Team Sam.
Yeah. And
but I think he went about it wrong.
But the transition between Gollum and Smeagol.
Mm-hmm.
All she gets is filthy oxes, and that doesn't taste very nice, does it, precious?
Is amazing.
Oh, that back and forth.
What I'm saying? It's like when Sam gets done speaking to him, and he's like. It's like
he goes from the big like smile changes, and then he goes.
He's like, I'm gonna.
You know what I mean? It's just like
okay, Samwise Gamgee.
Yeah, and not only that,
fat hobbitses.
Not only that, the transition from Smeagol the Hobbit, his transition into Gollum over the years that he had the ring, when he forgets his own name and he becomes this creature.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah. That whole role. Is this the movie or is it in Two Towers where he's like
Two Towers?
You don't have any friends. And he's like going back and forth. There's Two Towers.
Yeah.
Okay. That's my favorite. My favorite
What's
scene.
The dead?
Yeah. Of Andy Serkis like doing his thing is that like one-on-one.
I love that monologue.
Back and forth monologue.
I mean, we should all just like make a toast to Andy Serkis because
cheers.
He was
He's it's water.
That's okay. I'll toast your water. There we go. He was. This is the movie that made him. He was killer in this movie.
And he's the narrator of the audiobooks.
Oh, I can't wait to get those versions. I have the old versions.
Yeah.
And I would 100% be willing.
Honestly, I give so much credit to them remastering the audiobooks with him and like redoing that. Like they could have just left it how it was and it wouldn't have cost them a lot of money, but they redid it because it's better.
Yeah, I can believe it. I haven't listened to Andy Serkis's version yet. I've seen clips and stuff like that on Amazon, but
listen to that.
He's good. I mean,
I don't like to listen to books, and I know I'm saying that in front of a voice actor, but
it's worth it. When you get a good narrator, dude, it's like watching a movie. I'm not even joking.
Yeah.
Like there's narrators out there like Jude, who you can listen to something and it just comes alive in your imagination. It's freaking cool.
Andy Serkis is just like, he's got the voice, and he can do all this weirdly, really cool stuff.
He does a lot of good stuff.
Yeah.
I wish I could do it. I'm currently reading the last couple of chapters of Fellowship.
Where are you at with the kids?
Just left the Mines of Moria after Gandalf dies.
Oh, so you're still in Fellowship?
Listen, dude, I was on point in this chapter because this is my moment in this book.
I love your updates with the kids.
Oh, dude, it was so freaking cool. So the middle child fell asleep. But my oldest is like on pins and needles, sitting on top of his bunk, just looking at me like this.
Is he so upset?
And he's because Gandalf is his boy. Like
you're letting
loves
him watch the movies after you're done.
After I'm done. So I told him, I'm like, you can watch this movie, but we have to finish these last couple of chapters. Right. And he's like, and this is like right after Gandalf dies. But
spoiler.
But I'm like,
he's not dead.
I'm going into this knowing that what's coming, and I'm like doing the bell, boom, boom, and like He's like, you know, I can't remember how it goes.
Incorporating stuff from the movie into your feedings of the book?
God, dude. You shall not pass! And I'm like yelling, and my wife is like,
what are you doing?
I can hear you in the kid's bedroom, and you were just doing a full, yes, I did. Fly you. Like, he says that in the book too, and I'm like, I'm selling it, dude. And then Gandalf falls off the cliff, and the Balrog falls, and Frodo's like, Gandalf! And I'm like yelling and doing the acting and everything, and my kid's just sitting there and staring at me. He's like,
"You're crazy, Dad.
What happened to Gandalf?" And I'm like, "He fell, bro.
He fell down the pit.
Is he gonna come back?" I'm like, I don't know. And then that was the end of the chapter. Closed the book, put it down. All right, buddy, we'll catch up next week.
Go to bed now.
Yeah, go
Sweet
to bed.
dreams.
Sweet dreams. And he's like, "What's a Balrog?" I'm like, imagine a giant man demon with horns and wings,
terrifying,
that blows fire out of its nostrils, and a fire whip. Well, that's like described in detail in the book.
Yeah.
They're like a whip made of licked fire and a sword of blackened stone, and blah blah blah. And I'm like, I'm going full Christopher Lee with this shit. I'm like, metal as fuck, right? I'm having so much fun.
Some Man of War metal playing in the background.
Dude.
You know, it's funny when I decided to watch all of these in the same 24-hour period. So I was watching the first one. I was watching Fellowship of the Rings and Fellowship of the Ring. And so our videographer from our wedding needed to come over and like interview us for the documentary that he's making.
There's a wedding documentary? What?
It's a whole thing.
Oh my God.
He's doing it for a project for school because he's in film school. So he was using this as a project. So he needed to come in and
I thought
talk to us.
Kadish was just slightly going like, make a documentary about me.
So anyway, so he came in and I was watching Fellowship, and like as he came in, I went, "You're just in time for the Balrog!"
Oh, nice! yeah.
And I had to pause it.
You know what? Going back to my kids, that's a great story. But it reminds me of like just in time for that moment of like, aha. My kid, I was reading the part about the Mines of Moria where they go into the room where all the dead dwarves are, and it's the grave of Balin.
One of my favorite scenes.
Yeah, it's a great scene.
The entire trilogy.
I love it, with the light coming down. That's all described in the book, too. God, Peter Jackson's a fucking genius.
Yeah.
See what happens when you do source material shit and you actually try to...
And you respect it.
Yeah. I mean, they made slight changes, but overall, when I'm reading the actual Hobbit and the actual Fellowship of the Rings, and I watch the movies and I'm like, I mean, you might not like the Hobbit, but a lot of this shit is in the book.
Yeah,
it's weird because I was never, not once, offended while watching these movies.
Yeah.
At him being not true to the source material, because he was.
For the most part.
Yeah.
Slight changes here and there. Anyway.
Tom Bombadil.
Yeah. Excluded.
Yeah, that's all right. He probably filmed it.
You gotta cut some stuff
anyway,
out.
I was just impressed that after reading The Hobbit, and that was like last year, I think I finished that, maybe sooner or whatever. But my kid was like, Balin? That's Balin's grave? Balin? I don't know how you say his name. Balin? I'm like, yeah, man. He's like, from Bilbo's story? And I'm like, yeah. And he's like, how did he die?
Oh no!
And they talk about how he dies in the book, and I'm like, oh, we'll find out. And you read in a little bit, and there's a journal entry where like you're reading his journal entry about what's happening to the Mines of Moria and all this stuff, and it says Balin got struck in the back of the head with an arrow from an orc, and my kid was just like,
such a cheap way to go.
Oh my god! In the back of the head,
stupid orcs.
God dang it! Yeah, it was just
don't taste very nice at all, Precious. It doesn't taste very nice, does it, Precious?
Fucking love it. Anyway, this movie's great. I will say my least favorite part of this movie, even though it's the coolest on paper, is the Army of the Dead.
Yeah,
I feel like it's such a cop out.
Yeah, it was really God mode.
It's like a God mode Phantom Menace thing, where like he gets off the boat.
It's a little Pirates of the Caribbean.
A little bit, yeah. I'm gonna put that music. I'm gonna get copyright struck so bad.
How do you fight a bunch of ethereal spirits?
You can't.
You die if they touch you, basically.
I mean, I get where they were going with it. Like, yeah, these people, reneged on their oath and they're cursed for eternity to live on and not be able to die. And then Aragorn's like, hey, do this for me and I'll release you of your oath. It's all fine. I get it. But the actual...
Fucking Gimli's like, don't do it. Keep him around.
Yeah. Bad idea. Very handy in a tight spot, these lads. Despite the fact they're dead.
Gimli, bro.
Bro, you don't want these guys mad at you.
Don't piss them off.
Yeah. I get what you're saying though. I mean, they did have another battle to go.
Yeah.
Like the day was not won.
No.
Like he could have been like, okay, one more battle, guys.
I mean,
and then we'll be done.
Basically, the undead dudes were unkillable. They just had to go in there and just like wipe the
That's what I'm
battlefield
saying.
clean.
Like, he could have sent them.
There was no stakes once they got there.
He could have sent them through the black gates and won the whole fucking thing with no problem.
It's like, gonna release you, but not quite yet.
Well, I would have just made that part of the original deal.
Yeah.
Like, hey, we got to go
They
save.
could have gone there in book 1, given them the ring.
Yeah.
Said, go do
Once
this.
Middle-earth-
Your oath is you're released.
Yeah, does the ring work against the dead?
Once Middle Earth is good, I'll let you go.
Yeah.
Something like the original. Okay, listen. We have to go save Gondor.
We solved it.
Once we kill
Give the ring to the army of the dead.
That won't backfire
Listen,
at all.
we're gonna get the dead dudes. They're gonna kill everybody, and we'll have the Eagles drop the ring. It'll be fine. No big deal.
Did they know about the
10
army?
minutes.
Did they know about the army dead the whole time? Like, did Aragorn know that this was a card he could pull? What's up? Yeah, that was the only thing that's like sticking to me is like the Army of the Dead's cool, but it's a little overpowered, and it kind of, like you said, it takes the stakes out of the whole situation. You're like, because I'm on the edge of my seat in the Battle of Gondor. Like that's unwinnable. Like, they're getting dismantled, and then you get the Army of the Dead there, and it's just like everything's fine. And then they release them, and they're like, yeah, but we have to go fight the Black Gates. I'm like, isn't that a more important battle
Like,
that you should?
I'm not gonna release you just yet.
Yeah, like keep them around.
Just hang out, have some
I don't
ale.
think their plan was to march on the Black Gates until they were like, okay, we need to give Frodo distraction so that you know he won't be stopped on his way up to Mount Doom.
But we can give Frodo his chance if we keep Sauron's eye fixed upon us.
At the end of the movie that I really love in a weird way, it's acting with Sir Ian McKellen. McKellen? Yeah.
McKellen, yeah.
And Viggo and pretty much everybody in that knows Frodo's at Mount Doom. When they're like, they see that Frodo has finally put the ring in the lava and it's destroyed and like everything starts.
Gollum?
Yeah, Gollum did it. Sam helped.
Yeah.
Frodo didn't really do
It was a team
much.
effort, really.
Sam did most of the work.
Frodo was just a bitch. Okay, let's just admit it. He didn't do anything.
Bitch. All right. Yeah. Soft, motherfucker. Anyway.
Like, come on, man. Toughen up a little.
Yeah, toughen up. Walk up this fucking hill, asshole. Your friend's carrying you, for Christ's sake. But it was the scene where like the mountain like blows up and the tower falls and everybody's like, Frodo did it. They're all celebrating. And then the mountain goes boom, boom, and it just like blows up.
Nuclear explosion.
And then the like Gandalf's fucking face just goes, oh no. Like, holy shit, my boy just died.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, I don't know how he survived that. I feel like he probably shouldn't have.
Yeah.
But it was just that moment of like joy and then despair, like within the same scene, was just really, really cool. I loved how they did it. It was good stuff.
Yeah, good stuff.
I wonder if a river fell into Mount Doom at that moment, caused that explosion.
River?
What?
Who's River?
Why do you keep referencing shit we don't know?
Because nobody.
I forget that you guys
Is
did
it
not
Rings
watch
of
the
Power
Rings of
again?
Yeah, it's Rings of Power.
No, that doesn't exist.
No, we don't talk about that.
That shit ain't real.
Remember the orcs dug a trench to
the trench?
redirect the water.
I was just
from the
really
river.
worried about Jeff the tree.
Yeah.
So, you know.
But it was
Yes?
pouring an entire river into Mount Doom that caused it to explode.
Yeah.
So,
Luna Girl says we always do a Lord of the Rings marathon during the holidays, which is
that's
a
a good
good
tradition.
thing. Yeah. December's
Do you incorporate the Hobbit meals?
I want to do that.
Potatoes.
Potatoes. Mash them. Roast them. Put them in a stew. Love it.
Mashed with garlic.
Do you have any final...
my final thoughts?
Yeah.
We're probably never going to talk about these movies again.
That's not
At least
true.
for like 5 years.
Nah, we'll talk about it before.
These movies are quintessential cinema. If you're a movie buff and you've never watched these movies, then you're not a movie buff. You know what I'm saying? I love these movies. If you've watched these movies, and then I can't think straight.
Shady Mile, folks.
Shady
Go
Mile.
to casters.com.
I love these movies. Okay, these movies are required watching for anybody who just loves good movies.
I say read the books too.
Read the books.
Read the books and then
Read
watch the
books
movies
first.
Yeah.
Then watch the movies. That's what I did.
You appreciate them more, I
and you
think.
appreciate
Books are a
them more.
hard read.
You appreciate the books are a very hard read.
Yeah.
But if an idiot like me with a learning disability,
I give you so much credit.
Can get through these books. I had to read every page 3 times.
Whoa.
Okay, I've said that before. It's a true story.
Yeah.
I absorb books poorly. That's why I don't read a lot.
I freaking blow through these things.
But I made myself read these books. I made myself read Tolkien before these movies came out, and I appreciated them more. I really did.
I'm making my son listen to them before he sees the movies.
And these things are just they're next level filmmaking. Okay, they're a love story to Tolkien. They really are. There's movies at this level. They're generational. They don't come out very often. You
Totally
know
agree.
what I'm saying?
Yeah.
This was the 2001 version of Star Wars.
Yep.
It shaped.
Wow. Yeah.
It shaped a generation of film goers.
2001, I would have been an early teenager.
Yeah. Yeah.
And 100%. I went to every single one of these movies in theaters.
There's no other score but 5 stars for all of these movies put together.
On critic list, mine's 100%. Yeah.
And
I wish that the people who made the Foundation series had as much love for the source material as Peter Jackson did for this.
Fair enough. Well, we wish that with almost every adaptation that, like, hey, can you not stray from the source material too much?
It's like if they were like if the news came out tomorrow,
you're gonna remake the Lord of the Rings.
That fucking Disney has bought the rights to Lord of the Rings, and we're going to remake the Lord of the Rings trilogy.
I think I would just stop watching things.
I would firebomb Disney World. It would just.
Wait, does Disney own Lord of the Rings now?
No, not at all.
It's not
I'm
under
just saying,
Fox, is it?
if that happened,
oh, okay,
it would be the worst thing in the world.
Put a chicken in a maker game.
Yeah,
Warner Brothers.
It's like WB, they would turn Frodo, gay and dark.
Well, listen,
it's like fuck you.
Kevin Smith did a number on that scene.
Yeah,
because I can't watch that scene without thinking about that rant in Clerks 2.
I guess what I'm saying is this movie was made at the perfect time before all the nonsense started, and it's the last great trilogy that we have, and it's almost perfect in many ways, and it's perfect. It's perfect movies, and I love it, and I'm gonna enjoy watching this until the day I die, and it holds up, and it is what it is, man. It is what it is, and I love it, and I hope it never gets remade because I don't want to see it other than this version. So there you
go. Jude, final thoughts.
I had a great time with this. So when we decided we were going to do this, last week we decided that we were going to talk about Return of the King, and I was like, I can't just watch Return of the King. I can't do it. So I can watch just the first one, but I can't watch just the second one or just the third one. So you have to, for me, you have to watch all of them.
Yeah.
I had a great time just having a Lord of the Rings day. And I agree. It's a classic. It's based on a series that's a big fucking deal. By an author that's a big fucking deal. He's responsible for, if we didn't have Lord of the Rings, we wouldn't have so many other things.
Culture would be different.
Yeah. Like this is a person that has changed culture. And I'm glad that it was made by someone who had a love and respect for what was written. Great movies. I agree. Required watching if you love movies, and especially if you love like fantasy and an alternate world. Yeah, read them, listen to them, watch them,
absorb Tolkien, as much as you
them,
can.
and just like this was made it was, I think, perfectly cast and the actors just embody their characters, and like. Liv Tyler learned how to speak Elvish.
Yeah, she still knows how to do it.
Yeah.
She was a minor character.
Everybody just fully jumped in with both feet into their roles, and you can tell that this was made with so much love.
It feels like everybody that was in this movie
fully invested,
loved what they were doing.
Yeah,
it's like move to New Zealand. Yes, let's go. It was just something you just don't see anymore.
Yeah.
So.
Thumbs up or thumbs down, Kadish?
5 stars.
Okay.
Agreed.
Agreed. All right, guys, that is our coverage. 20th anniversary, Lord of the Rings, Return of the King. Wonderful, wonderful movie.
I would ask you guys, 20 years later, how does this compare to when you first saw it in theaters?
Still great.
Still hold, yeah. I mean, I get a little nitpicky with the Eagles and with the Army of the Dead.
I didn't like the Merry and Pippin stuff 20 years ago. So
yeah. I mean, now I have more of a not critical eye, but now I'm starting to see like, not that I can't say I'd do anything different, but it's just like, okay, Army of the Dead. Yep, let's wipe that battle off the map.
Yeah,
a little easy, but whatever. And the Eagles thing is just kind of funny to poke fun at, but I don't think my attitude hasn't changed about this movie. I loved them when they came out.
It's one of the 2 trilogies that I watch religiously every year. I always watch Star Wars, the original trilogy.
Yeah.
And I always watch the extended versions, not these 4.5 hour long versions, but I always try to at least watch the 3.5 hour long versions every year, regardless. You know, it's just required viewing. I love it. It's like just one of those things. So it keeps me focused as a nerd. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So
it centers you.
Yeah, it does.
Centers your nerd.
It takes me to my happy place. So
cool. Right on. All right, guys. Thank you so much for watching the video. Hope you guys go and check out these movies if you haven't already for your yearly rewatch. Go do it. It's a great holiday season type of movie. Nice and cozy home. Make some snacks. Make some Hobbit snacks.
I need to go get like 5th breakfast right now.
11sies.
11sies.
Right?
Let's go.
Yeah. Afternoon tea or something.
Tea.
Anyway, guys, thanks so much.
You need to go smoke some weed.
The salted pork is particularly good.
Last of the long bottom leaf.
I know you've run out. You smoke too much, Pip.